Hello there, Ray here, and what you see behind me is a simple dragon egg and sand generator that can duplicate these blocks 24/7 on servers. I made this machine back in August, but I have been avoiding showing off any interesting 1.9 mechanics that could be useful but may be unintentional. But I have been trying to bring attention to harmful changes to 1.9 with my previous videos in hopes that they would fix these prior to the 1.9 release. So this build here encompasses a wide range of interesting mechanics that I have discovered over the course of the snapshots. As you can see, this is made up of a very simple construction and can generate sand, dragon eggs, red sand, gravel, and anvils, although anvils will eventually break. It starts off by the falling block entity coming into the end, then falling through this hole here in the obsidian platform. Then it comes down here and activates this tripwire, which lets the falling sand block become a block form, which then it lets down back into a falling form again. This is used to reset the falling timer of the falling block entity. Then when it falls onto this fence here, it continues to stay in a falling block entity form. This mechanic is new to 1.9 and I discovered it while trying to build a shulker farm, where I was trying to suffocate the shulkers with a sand block here, and you can see the sand block just rides on top of it. This has to do with the new block collision boxes of 1.9. Once the floating block entity is on these fences here, it is pushed along with this slime block pusher, and as it goes along it will slowly lose momentum. So ever so often I have more slime block pushers that keep it going in this direction. Once it reaches the end of these fences, it is dropped down about 33.5 meters into this exit end portal that I had generate near the void, which allows it to be teleported into the overworld at the same time as it breaks off into an item form as it hits this block below the portal. This is now possible with changes that are made to the end portal's teleportation in 1.9, which I have talked about in a previous video. So both the falling block entity and the item that has broken off both get teleported out by this portal. Now if we go to the overworld side, we can see that the falling block entity spawns on top of the highest point at world spawn point. In this case, it is the first block that it comes in contact with, which is actually the block which is underneath of the entrance end portal here. But because the falling block entity had a lot of momentum from falling into the exit end portal on the end side, it keeps that momentum as it comes out at the world spawn point. This causes it to spawn within the entrance end portal and hit upon the block under the portal, as well as teleport the falling block entity into the end dimension. This causes it to duplicate for a second time. This has some other uses which I will show in an upcoming video. I don't know that much about stronghold generation, but I have seen speedrunners use seeds that have strongholds that generate under spawn. So I asked Azalif if it was possible to have a entrance end portal generate under the world spawn point. He said that strongholds generate near spawn points doesn't normally happen under typical circumstances, but it can happen if the original spawn point location has been seen as being a bad biome in the world. He made a video that briefly talks about it, and there is a link in the description to it. The World Seed 4 is a proven example that it is possible with the real portal to the end over here. So with enough seed searching, it is possible to find a location that is actually right underneath of the world spawn point. And recently Panda 4994 found a seed that has this configuration. I have made this sand generator safe for players so that they can enter at any time. This is done by using this ender crystal here, which is inside of this obsidian platform, which destroys the obsidian platform as soon as a new player comes on through the end. This is similar to the sandstorm, except that in 1.9 the platform only regenerates for players. This is made by a special ender crystal that can't be destroyed in survival, so you don't have to worry about your survival buddies blowing it up. I'll show how this can be done in a later video. So by the time the sand enters, it has been duplicated twice. So I have a bunch of hopper carts under here that pick up all the items that come off of it, since it is important to be collecting these items because that is the whole point of this machine. Keeping the Enderman from stealing your sand is important for any sand generator. The Enderman can only pick up sand when it's in a block form, which does happen briefly at this point here, so it is important to light up this area to prevent any spawns. You may have noticed that underneath of us is a bunch of hopper chunk loaders, which allows the falling sand block entities to stay loaded while going through the end dimension. How is the end kept loaded when there is no one in the end dimension, or if no one is even on the server? I showed that this was possible in a recent video, but the main thing to keep in mind is that the end unloads for two main reasons. The first is that the end unloads 15 seconds after an entity other than the player has gone through the portal. The second is that it can unload every 45 seconds from an autosave. The way that I have kept the end loaded without a player in the setup is by having the falling block entity be within the spawn chunks at the time of the autosave. Since the spawn chunks are kept loaded from the entity going through the portal, they do not unload during the autosave. I have also used some precise timings, and the timing it takes for this one sand to do an entire loop through the end dimension and back into the overworld is exactly 299 game ticks. Because the end takes about 4 game ticks to reload after an autosave, I did not make it exactly 300 game ticks. Using a similar setting as this, with precise timings, it is possible to have a sand or dragon egg generator that operates 24/7 on a server even when no one is online. This works similar to that of iron farms and chicken farms that are within spawn chunks and can run without anyone being online in the server. I plan to show some other versions of this that are more suitable for a typical world. There is a world download in the description if you want to check out this world. So there you have it, guys, my simple dragon egg and sand generator for 1.9. If you found this interesting, show me with a like. If you would like to see more 1.9 contraptions, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Bye bye!